Hi everyone, microphone muted. Welcome on this very hot evening to this special masterclass for Warrior Within. Please do write in the chat, take a moment right now, say where you are and how you are. How are things there? I know many of you. Nice to see you, Luciana. Nice to see you, Jill. Lots of old faces connecting, which is really great to see. Hoping to share some new things tonight, as well as some key things that many of you will know if you've been following the work with me over the years. We'll flick into a PowerPoint in a little while. Great to see Houston, coming all the way from Norway. Please do write where you're tuning in from. Good to see you, Edmund, from Ireland. We've got people coming from various countries around the world, people joining from all over, and of course, for different reasons, people looking to find their inner warrior, be their best, help them to live their best life. And we've put this program on. Bit spontaneous, actually. Just in the last couple of weeks, we decided to do it. But more than 60 people registering for the program at short notice, which is great news. Lots of people joining here. Great to see people, some old faces that have been on the program before, some new people. I don't know about the program. Tonight's going to be relatively short presentation, around about an hour. I'm just looking to cut straight to the chase, put in some of the new material, less things about our past and the story, some of the things that some of you will know. It's so hot here that just dripping. Maybe you can hear the noise outside. I don't know if I can turn the camera a little. The sea's absolutely lovely. And also quite noisy. I don't know what's worse, actually, having the sea right there where you can see it, but also watching the people go and enjoying it when you're working is quite tough call, actually. But nice to be by the coast and have the refreshing breeze. Here's a question for you right up front. This is spontaneous off the top of my head. Just thinking about my own life and what's going on for me at the moment. Deep inside of us all, there's a warrior spirit. Throughout the ages, you can look back, different cultures, different times, ancient wisdom. People will talk about in challenging times, they dig deep and they find that inner warrior spirit. It helps them to face adversity, to overcome challenges, to triumph in the face of difficulty. Whatever you're facing right now, whatever's in your path, what one warrior spirit would most help you to step forward in your life, move along the path you've chosen, face the challenges that are there for all of us and overcome them to lead you on to victory and triumph. Lots of different types of warrior qualities. Warriors are not just people going into battle. We've got rainbow warriors, eco warriors, the way of the peaceful warrior. There's lots of warrior qualities. Which one warrior quality would most serve you right now? To be your best, do your best, live your best life, achieve your goals and dreams and wishes. I want you to write it in the chat so that the other people can see it, because on these programs, it's not just about the things that I might have to share or that Vicky is sharing. Of course, it's about the community. Very often the inspiration is 360. It's coming from everyone. Everyone has their wisdom. It's when we all share our wisdom that we help each other the most. Which one warrior quality is most going to help you face your future? So write in the chat where you are, where you're tuning in from, how you're feeling right now, and also which one warrior quality. And already I'm just checking through the screen here. people writing where they're coming in from, Somerset, Greece, Lancashire, etc., Merseyside, and then people writing different qualities: physical strength, self-belief, success, and for me, drive, energy, active assertiveness, goal focusedness. Think about the one way of being that's most going to help you, the one warrior quality. Think about the path you're going to tread, the things you need to do. We're in a very changing environment right now. All of us have this inner warrior spirit, a great strength, a great light that we can call upon that helps us to be our best. What is it for you? Think about that one warrior quality that's going to help you not just to survive, but positively thrive in the coming times ahead. And while you're having to think about that and writing in the chat, I'm going to bring up the screen share, move through some of the content, not my emails here, move through some of the content, and then we're going to take a break in a little while, see what questions people have, and then we'll go back into the presentation for some of the mapping elements. This is the first Warrior Within that we've run the whole program through goal mapping online. So tonight, joining through the new pages we've created for Warrior Within that are part of goal mapping, one of our master classes. I've been sharing the work of goal mapping and the other mapping systems for 30 years. Some of you may be new, don't know me. If you don't know me, Brian Main, creator of goal mapping, life mapping, action mapping, self-mapping. Warrior Within is my deeper program. The nature of the work in Warrior Within is esoteric. Does anyone know the meaning of esoteric? If you know the meaning of esoteric, write it in the chat. I'll give you a second to write it while I say that for many years, my work has been presenting goal mapping and the other systems to the corporate world and also to the education world. And sometimes I've needed to tone down a little my deeper beliefs about life and creation because it's not always been appropriate for the audience. But here in Warrior Within, it's the deepest truths that I've come to believe, and it's the greatest wisdom that I've found. Esoteric, the meaning of esoteric is this: taught to only a few. It's like a reserved knowledge, a special knowledge. If you look around the world, ancient teachings, there will be both an outer teaching, like a religion that people follow, and then there'll be an inner teaching, a sacred teaching that is esoteric, that is about how you create your reality. And this inner teaching was always the reserved wisdom. Here in Warrior Within, it's the inner teaching of everything I've come to understand and believe. In the ancient world, it was said, by thought, feeling, and action, we make and shape our world. And I believe that some of the shortest statements have the deepest meaning. By thought, feeling, and action, we make and shape our world. These three things are key. I've really come to believe in the law of attraction, and the law of attraction starts with thought and intention. It's amplified by feeling and emotion, and then it's empowered further by action, by physical behavior. By thought, feeling, and action, we invoke the law of attraction, we command our subconscious, and through the prime law of creation, which is called law of cause and effect, we start to make and shape our world. And through the law of attraction, We draw people, situation, and circumstance to us. A life is many things for many different people, but one thing that we can say is true for all of us is that life is a path. Each of us are on a path. Some people are unconscious on the path. They're walking along the path and they don't even realize they're traveling a path in life. The more conscious we are of our life path, the more powerfully we are able to move through life and achieve our best life and our best results. And we live our best life. We walk the path in the best way when we are inspired in mind, we have hope in our heart and power in our actions. Regardless of who you are, what age you are, what you do, what your desires are, when you think about the days when you're at your best and you produce your best results in life, in your relationships, your work, any other area, it will be those days when you are inspired in mind, when you're stepping forward along your path with hope in your heart, and when you have a sense of power in your action. All three of these come from finding your inner warrior. It is there within absolutely every one of us. And my path started in a traveling gypsy funfair family. And this is my father's funfair. This picture taken the year I was born. Down at the bottom of the picture is my father traipsing through the flood water on the funfair, which he had taken to Weymouth, and the area where they were open was flooded out. And many of you will know my story, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. But the turning point for me was that my father helped me to become the youngest person in England to open up a disco. I was very successful with the business. I was just 18 when I opened the disco on the Isle of Wight. This picture from the first year we were open, 1981. This is me with face paint and frilly shirt, the crest of the New Romantics wave back in 1981. There's me with my brother who ran the disco with me. We were in lots of music magazines. We had lots of pop stars and celebrities coming to the club. But then in the recession of the late 1980s and the decline of tourism on the Isle of Wight, because of people going abroad for package holidays in the late 80s, early 90s, the family business went out of business. And so the club closed down. And at age 29, I was broke. I'd gone from being worth £1 million to owing £1 million. My marriage had broken down. My home had been repossessed. My possessions had been repossessed. I was £1 million in debt. I had no qualifications because of growing up in a traveling family, leaving school early, and had no formal work experience. And to make things even worse, I couldn't read or write properly. The turning point for me was being introduced to personal development and self-improvement, and in particular, understanding the science of positive thinking. It started with this quote from Henry Ford: if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. And I learned through personal development how when you connect brain cells, it helps you to activate the whole of your brain. And the right brain helps you to look forward into the future and have a good vision of where you want to go and what you want to do, while the left side of your brain helps you to form a strategy and a plan and how you can take your idea and put it into action. And it was transformational for me. Learning how to connect the brain cells together is what helped me to overcome my dyslexia, teach myself to read well. Once I learned to read at age 30, I wanted to read more and more personal development. Everything that I read, I started to apply into my life. And in particular, what I become really interested in was techniques that would help me balance my brain, activate more brain cells, motivate myself more, and send a command to both my subconscious to move me towards the goal, and also a command to the universe to invoke the law of attraction, move the goal towards me. I wanted to use techniques for the mind, for the heart, and for the body. I started to learn breathing techniques, meditation techniques, thinking techniques, positive thinking techniques, techniques like mindfulness. The more I used all these different techniques, the more it helped me to grow as a person. And then one night in particular, while practicing a breathing technique that we teach in Warrior Within and setting goals, thinking about my future, I had this amazing vision of myself in the future, where I saw myself traveling around the world, writing books, speaking to big audiences, and many of the things that I'm actually doing now. And it changed me as a person. I was never quite the same after that experience. And I come to believe that teaching personal development to other people to help them change their life around in the way that personal development helped me to pay off my debt, teach myself to read, re-educate myself, and start a new life in a new career. I come to believe that was very much my purpose. And so in 1994, I become a professional, full-time paid trainer. And my message back in 1994 has not changed to this day. Your thoughts create your reality. I've always been interested in the essence of wisdom, the essence of statements. When I learned to read, I wanted to read lots and lots of personal development, but very quickly, my interest deepened into ancient spirituality and ancient wisdom rather than modern personal development. And this balance of being interested in the latest techniques and scientific breakthroughs, as well as the more ancient, older wisdom, has continued, and it's present, of course, in Warrior Within. Your thoughts create your reality in yourself and in your life. The way you think about yourself shapes who you become as a person. And who you are as a person through your attitudes, your behavior, your beliefs, and through the law of attraction starts to influence your life. Actually, over a period of 7 years, I created 4 mapping systems. Each one came to me in a visualization or in an insight of vision. They wasn't created by sitting down working on paper. They came in a single moment. They came complete. And then it took me some time to work out what it was that I'd seen. Goal mapping came in 1994, driving my car late one night through London. Life mapping came on a journey back from Holland, where I'd been making a presentation in 1996. Action mapping a year later, and then in 1999 came self-mapping. Each of these systems connects with a different aspect of success, and over the years, a little bit like magic, without any special marketing, without any special advertising, gradually the word has spread, and now more than 5 million people around the world have benefited from the different mapping systems, helping people to change their life, improve things for themselves and their loved ones in so many different ways, whether that is paying off their debt, changing their career, putting their children into private education, losing weight, getting fit. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on and on, because these are universal systems. And I've been teaching them around the world. Here in Finland, been interviewed on TV at a spiritual conference. Here in Norway, at a business conference. Various magazine articles, this one from CNN. about using goal mapping to advance your career. We are each of us a combination of thoughts, feeling, and physical, mental, emotional, physical. The mental, of course, thoughts, the emotional feelings, the physical behavior. And these aspects of ourself are in a loop. Psychologists call this a cybernetic loop. That simply means if you change one, it changes the other. When you change the way you think, it changes the chemical release from your brain, which changes the way that you feel. If you were to think about something very, very happy that's happened to you recently or years ago, or you believe is coming soon, within a few moments, you'll trigger the release of serotonin, you'll feel happy right now. If you think about something sad that has happened to you, maybe recently, maybe years ago, then within a few moments, you trigger a different chemical, cortisol, and you start to feel sad right now. Not only does the thought trigger the chemical that gives you the feeling, but it also affects your physiology. When people are feeling sad, their head is down, the face is frowning, their shoulders are slouched, the body posture reflects how they feel down. And when people feel up, when they feel elated, that is also reflected in their body posture. The nervous system that is hardwired into the base of your brain runs throughout your body. So just like your thoughts can trigger the chemicals that create your feeling and influence your physiology or behavior, so your behavior can send a signal to release the chemicals that change your feelings and your thoughts. And so you can force your body into a positive posture, which sends a signal to your brain to release serotonin and helps you to feel positive. And there are whole books written about this, about using your superhero pose or your warrior move, because when you put your body in an empowered posture, it sends that signal to your brain to help you to be your best. These three aspects, thoughts, feelings, and actions, shape our habit patterns. And when we repeat the process, so if we think the same thought over and over, it becomes a belief. Feel the same feeling over and over, it becomes an attitude. Engage in the same behavior or action over and over and over, it becomes a behavior pattern. All of these shape our habit patterns, and our habit patterns shape who we are as a person, our self. And the greatest goal is that through our self, we start to shape our life and the world around us. Through our thoughts and our feelings and our behavior, we have an influence on our life, and each of us add a little influence to the world. Everything starts with intention. Intention begins with our thoughts. What is it that you desire for the future? What is your intention for the future? And then the power builds when we consider who we will need to be. Because who we are being as a person gives the power to what you do, which leads you to have your intention. A lot of people, when they want their life to improve, are focused on the having. Some people will then work backwards and think about, well, what will I need to do in order to have? But very few people are going back to the starting point of power, which is who they need to be. Qualities like being passionate, being courageous, being brave, being honest, being authentic. These are the qualities, ways of being that give the real power to what we're doing, that lead to what we're having. You can have two people side by side doing exactly the same thing. same level of skills, same level of knowledge, same level of everything. But one is passionate. They're being passionate. They're putting their heart into their work. The other person is just being there. They're putting in their hours in order to take home their money. That creates two very different results. And that same principle is true for everything we do in life. I know we have a lot of people joining the program involved in network marketing, and you will know if you've ever done network marketing or direct sales, who you are being is the absolute power behind what you're doing. It's the same in any management practice. It's the same in anything you're truly passionate about in life, that who you're being makes the biggest difference. The greatest intention we can have is to be our true self. By focusing on our inner self, the inner warrior, we grow the inner warrior, we bring ourselves into balance, high self and low self, to become our true self. And you will see this in all the ancient teachings around the world. When you focus on growing your inner self, the inner warrior, gradually it expands to balance out with your low self, your ego, so that you become your true self. The ego is a great thing to have. It's a great source of power, but it's best when it follows. We want our high self to lead. We want our low self, our ego, to support. And when we bring them into balance, we become our true self, our divine self. And this symbol of the interlocking triangles with the circle is something you'll find in ancient cultures around the world. You'll find it in Greece, you'll find it in Egypt, you'll find it in India, you'll even find it in Druidism here in England in the past. Goal mapping is all about setting intentions. Life mapping is all about being your best. Action mapping is about changing behavior so your behavior supports you to live your best life. Self-mapping is about becoming your true self. And in Warrior Within, we're teaching all four systems. There is a simple essence to Warrior Within. Each of us, from birth onwards, have a great light within us. It is as natural for you or me to shine as it is for the sun to rise each and every day. So if it's natural for each of us to shine, to be our best, why do we not shine all of the time and light up our heart? Well, as long with being born with a great light inside of us, we also pick up a lot of shadow in our early years. In our childhood development, we pick up a lot of negative beliefs that become like a fog in our mind that block the light and dull our heart. And the journey of self-development is really about learning how to clear away the fog, the limiting beliefs that we pick up in childhood, to clear the obscurities from our heart and to let our life shine. A life will always be filled with highs and lows. And when we're on a high, we automatically rise up and we shine. And then when we're on a low, we sink down and we fall into shadow. And for people that are unaware of these deeper ancient truths of how we can choose to be our best, sadly, so many people end up caught in the middle and they just become a little bit overcast, a little bit gloomy and dull. The teaching in Warrior Within is about learning how you can choose to shine regardless of the detail of the day, regardless of whether the day is going your way or not. When you choose to live your life above the line, it helps you to find your flow and to lead your life and progressively the path becomes an upward spiral. So what does it look like to live your life above the line? It means living with high self-positive qualities. The way that each of us are is created by the experiences that we've had in life and the beliefs that we've formed about those experiences. At any point in time, we can sit and we can use techniques and we can raise our awareness and we can change our beliefs and we can choose new habit patterns, new ways of being, new attitudes, new beliefs. We can choose to move into a place of acceptance, be our own hero, make good, positive, conscious choices, live with hope in our heart, choose to respond rather than react, come from love, be at cause. Or we can fall down into the shadow and we can be all of the opposite. Any scientist will tell you that we live in a world of cause and effect. Nothing really happens by accident. Everything we experience has a specific cause. And sometimes those causes come from other people or situations that are outside of our immediate control. And like the economic crisis so many people are experiencing this time, or the war in Ukraine. But through our thoughts and our feelings and our actions, over the longer period, we can have an influence on the cause and effect of our life. And gradually, by choosing our response to the things that happen in our life, we're able to set up positive causes and gradually shape our life. What it requires is to learn the lessons of life. We are each of us living in a life school. Life school teaches us the lessons of life through experience. Each experience we have has something to teach. It's often the experiences that are most difficult that also teach the greatest lessons. When times are good, we enjoy them. We hope they will continue, but we're not always learning so much from them. When times are tough is when we start to learn the deeper life lessons. What have been some of your deeper life lessons? If you've got a deep life lesson that you've learned recently or maybe years ago in the past, please do write it in the chat now. One of my greatest life lessons was learning that true success is about happiness. Of course, we also want abundance. We want enough of whatever it is that we want, but learning how to be happy is one of the greatest life lessons, because without happiness, everything else we may achieve starts to become meaningless. Each life lesson helps us to take a step along the journey. And one of the first life lessons for me was being aware. I had not even realized how blind I was to the fundamental principles of life. I thought that success was an accident, that it was luck, like winning the lottery. And of course, there is random success in life, like winning the lottery, but it's outside of our control. It's a chance success. We can't control it. It's a gamble. Long-term life success happens on purpose. There are laws and principles that regulate the process. Being aware is the starting place. Recently, I was in Greece with Vicky, and we were there for corporate work, but we also took some days out, hired a car, and we drove to one of the most ancient spiritual sites in the world, Delphi. 5,000 years old. Originally, it was a temple to Mother Earth goddess. Kings, queens, princes, wise men and women would travel from distant countries to go to the temple to receive a message of guidance, an oracle priestess, the Pythia, after many washings, purifications from the sacred spring, she would sit in the temple of Apollo, she would go into trance, and she would give a message of guidance to the visiting nobles and dignitaries that came. Inscribed on the porchway in a triangle of the temple were what were considered the highest wisdom of the ancient world. Gnothai Siatum. It means know yourself. Raising your awareness of yourself is the first point of power. The more you know yourself, the more you can change habits and beliefs and choose your thoughts. The more you know other people, the more you can find harmony with others. Get together, out of the harmony comes synergy. The more you know your path, your environment, your world, the more you know, here's the best way for me to go. Being aware, first life lesson. Second life lesson, if you're really going to be aware, it requires being open. I used to be such a closed person. I was closed because I was afraid to let other people see who I was. And I was closed to others because I was insecure and I didn't want to take their opinion or feedback. I thought I needed to be right about everything. The more open we are, and that doesn't necessarily mean agreeing. It just means we're listening, we're open. But to be really aware, we need to be open. Third life lesson, be balanced. There can be no true long-term lasting success without balance. The more balance we have, the more success we enjoy. Purposeful. And life balance is not static like a set of scales. It's flowing. It's active. It's like the balance when you're riding a bicycle. And to have balance on the bicycle, we need to move forward. Moving forward is like having a purpose. It's like following a path. When you're moving forward, it helps you to have balance. Take a look around yourself at the different people in life that are not moving, not going anywhere. And you'll see that when they're absolutely still, they lose their balance. They start to fall over. We need momentum to give us equilibrium. And not just momentum for the sake of it, purposeful momentum. So we need to think about where we're going. What is the passion for us? What is the path we want to follow? And in Warrior Within, over a 7-week period, we're helping people to find their purpose, find their path. That's also helping them to find their balance, raise their awareness, be open to the opportunities of life. Now imagine that purpose is like a path. As you travel along the path, there's going to be lots of choices. Do I go this way? Do I go this way? And so learning to be responsible, learning to choose your response rather than being reactive. Another really important life lesson. Be positive, be inclusive. You notice each of these life lessons are ways of being, because the big life lessons will always be ways of being within yourself. And one of the biggest is that by being your true self, combining your high self with your low self, it gives you the greatest level of power. Many years ago, I went to a seminar in London in 1994 when I was first starting out as a trainer in personal development. And I was listening to one of the world's top experts on beliefs, a man called Dr. Robert Bays. And he was talking about how beliefs can either make us or break us. And it inspired this concept in my mind of the human radio. And maybe you've had an experience in the past of listening to a radio, perhaps while you were driving along a country road in your car. And as you move along the road in your car, and maybe sometimes you lose the reception to the radio and you get a little bit of distortion that kicks in, a bit of crackle. And when the distortion comes on the radio, how much of an adjustment do you need to make on the tuning dial? Is it a lot or is it just a little? It's the smallest amount. It's the same with the lens on the camera to bring a blurry image into a clear image. It's a small adjustment that makes a big difference. The tuning dial for us as humans in our human radio is our beliefs. By making small adjustments to our beliefs, we bring our life into focus. We get a clear reception on life's song. We get a clear picture about our vision and the future promise that we hold for ourselves. Beliefs are so enormously powerful that once we form them, they influence our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, our results, and then we react and it becomes a cycle. And this cycle of thought, feeling, action, habit, result is known as a self-actualization cycle. And in the Warrior Within program, we explore this in depth to help people fine-tune their beliefs. In particular, there's a game we play in Warrior Within called Growing Up I Always Heard, because from birth up until age 5, 6, 7 is when we form our core beliefs. And many of our core beliefs formed before the years of 7 are unconsciously formed. They're the beliefs that we pick up from significant others, parents, older brothers, sisters, teachers, people that we admire perhaps in society. When I went to the seminar years ago with Dr. Robert Bays, he had me play a game. It's a game we play in Warrior Within, saying, okay, take a moment and just think about all the things you heard growing up as a child, and now pair up with another person and say all the different things you heard growing up. And gradually all the things start to come out of your mouth. I remember myself saying, don't worry about an education. It's not important for people like us from a traveling family. You don't need to study hard and got to work hard to get on. And all of these things started to come out of my mouth. And I realized I didn't vote on any of these things. They were just the things I heard from my parents growing up. And some of them were really good things, good beliefs that served me. And others were really limiting things that were holding me back. I like money's dirty and rich people aren't nice. Gradually, I learned to change the negative beliefs that were driving success away into positive beliefs that brought success forward. If we take this cycle of thought, feeling, action, habit, results, and we just drill it down into self, each of us has a high self, being our best, and a low self when we're being our worst. Whether we choose to or not, every so often we sink down into being our worst. Children at a young age, children below the age of 7, do not have enough self-awareness to question the things they are hearing. They don't realize they're forming beliefs, and they're just listening to what's going on around them, sometimes positive, sometimes negatives. That is forming their beliefs, and through their beliefs, they're also forming their self-esteem. And many children will form low self-esteem and feel they are not good enough because in their young years, they are being overly compared to other children. Why aren't you doing as well as your sister? Or your brother's doing better than you? Or all the other children are managing fine in school? Or the rest of the children in the class have achieved these grades? And a child below the age of 7 is not able to evaluate what's being said. What they hear is, I've got to be better. I've got to be as good as this grade my sister, my brother, this other person is getting. I've got to be as good as my parents want me to be. That means that at the moment, I'm not good enough. I need to improve to be as good as these other people. They must be better than me, and I am less than them. The feeling of being worth less than someone else is at the very core of all low self-esteem and low self-belief. The feeling that you are not as good as others. Now, sometimes it shows up in adult life where people are introverted, and sometimes they're more extroverted. Both types of people, introvert and extrovert, will have the same deep feeling that they are not good enough. The introvert tends to show it more openly and become a victim. The extrovert tries to hide it, cover it over, and is often an aggressor or a bully. In either case, it stops us from being our best, and it keeps us in our low self. In Warrior Within, we take people through gentle exercises in groups to help people evolve their beliefs about themselves. And as they evolve their beliefs, they start to evolve their self-esteem. They move more towards their high self, and they start to feel worthwhile. Low self-esteem people fall down into shadow, and it's the opposite. They feel worthless. They feel they're not good enough. High self-esteem people, the more they work on their beliefs, they change attitudes and behavior, the more they feel secure in themselves, that they're a good person. Low self-esteem people, it's the opposite. They feel insecure, not good enough. High self-esteem people feel free in themselves, free and easy, free to be the way they want to be, free to be themselves, free to make a change in their life. Low self people feel chained, they feel controlled, they feel they cannot. High self-esteem people very open, low self-esteem people closed. High self-esteem people live in their life from the energy of love. Low self-esteem people driven by the feeling of fear. This is what's going on the inside. How does it show up on the outside? Well, high self-esteem people have a depth of character. Low self-esteem people have a thin veneer of personality. Personality comes from the Latin. It means persona. Persona means mask, because it's not genuine. It's false. High self-esteem people genuine, low self-esteem people not. False. They pretend to be the way that's going to impress others to help them gain some power or something they desire. High self-esteem people have a sense of purpose. Low self-esteem people live in their life from ego. It's just about them, their power, their money, their possession. High self-esteem people are making a conscious choice. Low self-esteem people blaming. High self-esteem people, positive motivation. Low self-esteem people, negative motivation. Live your life above the line. Live your life from the qualities above the green line here on the screen, and everything will change. Everything will change. Everything will change in you, and through you, you start to change everything in your life. And through the law of attraction, you start to draw all the good things into your life and repel away the negative. Each of us moving along our life path. And when we find a path in life that is our purpose, it gives us great power. Purpose and goals are similar but not the same. And this is another core teaching in Warrior Within, that when we find our path, our passion, goals are the markers along the path. And each goal that we set helps us to move towards the vision that we hold for our future. Mine is, I want to help 7 million people. I want to help 7 million people in the way that I've been helped by learning personal development. To this day, I'm so grateful to the man that taught me this information. Sadly, he died many years ago. He died young. He was an unsung hero. He helped me for no reward. He was a paid trainer in the sales company that I joined when my life had sunk down and I'd become broken. It was one of the few jobs open to me in direct sales on commission only. And he helped me understand how I could use personal development to change myself, create new beliefs, new brain cell connections, overcome my learning challenges, teach myself to read, change my life, pay off my debt. I would be lying to you if I said it happened quickly. It didn't happen quickly. It took me 10 years to pay back the £1 million debt. But within the first year, I'd made so much progress. I'd paid so much money back that all the creditors were happy. They allowed my parents to keep their home, which was my main motivation for wanting to pay back the debt. And gradually it became a really positive situation. Personal development works, and it works when we work it. If you're not sure about your path, join the Warrior Within program, and we will help you to explore your passions, to find the thing that makes your heart sing. When you find your path, when you find that thing that makes your heart sing, it gives you such amazing power. And we don't have the time here tonight for me to share all the stories I'd love to share, but I've been so scared in the past. I had so many difficult times, and there were often times when I wanted to give up and turn around because I thought my training or coaching business wasn't working. But it was being clear about my purpose that helped me to face the difficulty in the day and keep going to learn success in a better way. This core principle, be, do, have, is key. 3 levels of purpose. First level of purpose, be your best. That's the prime purpose. That's the purpose that all of us are born with. Second level of purpose, find the thing that makes your heart sing. Life purpose. Life purpose is about finding your path and following your path. It could be a career, it could be your family, it could be something you have a great passion for. And then higher purpose, leave the world a better place. Make a difference in some way. And maybe just a small difference. I go and pick up some litter from the park. It's making a difference. It's helping the world to leave a better place. Maybe it's a big difference. You want to go and coach people. You want to change communities. You want to empower organizations. Life mapping is about helping you to be your best, prime purpose. And then goal mapping is about helping you to walk your path, find your purpose, and also make a difference. In Warrior Within, we go through all 4 mapping systems, and all 4 mapping systems are designed to influence your subconscious mind, like your own magical genie, through the right side of your brain and through the left side of your brain conscious mind for you to be the magic lamp. By thinking about what you want and creating a goal map, life map, action map, self map, you command your subconscious, your magical genie, to move you towards your goals. And the reason why all of the mapping systems work so well is because of this balanced combination of words and pictures. Left brain thinks in words, right brain thinks in pictures. And when we activate both, it helps us to have whole brain thinking, and that leads to self-actualization. Self-actualization is when we take a thought and we turn it into reality. Sadly, many people are turning their negative thoughts into reality. Without realizing, many people, by worrying about the future, by picturing in their mind what they don't want, actually create more of it. By thinking about what they don't want, they release the chemicals, they make themselves feel sad, and the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and intensely imagined thought. So when you think about what you don't want, your subconscious genie gets confused, thinks it's what you do want, and moves you towards it. When you think about what you don't want, it commands your subconscious through law of attraction to move it towards you. Think about what you want, you get more of that. Think about what you don't want, you get more of that. This is a really ancient teaching known throughout the world. As above, so below, as within, so without. As you think, so you become. 3,000 years ago, Buddha said, all that we are starts with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world. 300 years before Christ, Buddha was saying the same thing. One of the greatest principles and quotes for me is by Emerson, the American philosopher, who said, man is not what he thinks he is, but what he thinks he is. As you think, so you become. Negative people spend a lot of their time thinking about what's wrong, and without realizing what they're doing, they're creating more of that. Positive people, by focusing on what they want, create more of that. The mapping systems are designed to help you hold a positive thought about yourself or about your life or about your situation. And here in my action map, just a quick example. Often I'm showing how a goal map works or a life map works. We run free masterclasses every month. There's another one coming next week where I'll be outlining goal mapping and how you use it in relationships. But here tonight, I thought it'd be nice if we just show action mapping. And you have access to action mapping online if you're at the gold level, or before we finish tonight, I'll bring up the online program and show you where you can download the free paper templates if you'd like to do it on paper. When you create an action map, it's about changing habit patterns. And you want to start by thinking about what are your thoughts and your feelings and your actions with the things that you believe are most holding you back. So if you take a habit that you believe is a block for you in your life. For me, one of the ones in the past was smoking. Another one was being lazy with exercise. So if you take a habit like being lazy with exercise and you ask yourself, well, why am I lazy with the exercise? If I know it's good for me, why don't I go out and do it? Or why don't I diet? Or why don't I cleanse? Or whatever habit you believe is most holding you back. And when I wake up in the mornings and I'm planning to go out and exercise, but I wake up and I don't do it, the thought that goes through my head is this: oh no, I'm too busy. Like this morning, for instance, I've got an early morning coaching session coming up and I'm too busy. And then the feeling is, oh, well, I don't really care. You know, it's not that important. I can do it tomorrow. I get stuck in a justification and procrastination. And then I justify it further by telling myself I'm too tired. If you write down on a template in your action map the things that prevent you from following through with what you know would be good for you, and then in a second template, you write down the positive opposite. So instead of I'm lazy with exercise, I'm vibrant. And what things can you say to yourself that help support that? Because affirmation and visualization are what create whole brain activation. and lead to self-actualization. So maybe it is, well, I make time, or I prioritize myself. Whatever words feel powerful for you. I'm just showing an example here. I'm worth it. So is it worth it for you to be healthy? I nearly died in 2019. It was a real shock. I'd always been super fit and healthy through my life. And then suddenly I wasn't. And the doctor sat me down. They told me I was very lucky to be alive. And one of the things they recommended was take some time out, look after your health, do a detox, do a cleanse, get back into exercise, because I simply wasn't prioritizing myself. I wasn't putting myself up there as the most important thing. And instead of feeling tired after I exercise, I always feel good. I feel great. I always have done. But I taught myself out of it before doing it. Now, the words are for the left brain. So we also need the imagery for the right brain. And you can see here one of my online maps. And if you're at the gold level of goal mapping online, you can create 100 different maps, and you can create all the different types of maps. So a goal map, a life map, and an action map. But if you're at the free level, and it's been my passion over many years to make sure that everybody, regardless of their financial situation, has access to the material. So from 1995 onwards, I've been giving away the core material for free. And if you go into goal mapping online and you go to the family area and you scroll down just a little, and you'll find all of the downloads here. So goal mapping, templates, printable, life mapping, action mapping. So this gives you the templates to fill in, and it also gives you the page of instruction. So you can download those for free, you can print them out, you can create the map online, or if you're at the gold level, you can do it here in goal mapping online. And I have to say that the online is more powerful. And the simple reason for that is that you can keep making changes either on your own or getting feedback from a coach if you want to work with a goal mapping coach that helps you to get the statements really powerful. The more meaningful the words, the more power it creates in the command to your subconscious. And you'll see here in the pictures, I've got one picture which is a drawing from me. I've been drawing my goal maps, life map, action maps for the last 27 years. But in recent years, working with neuroscientists here in England, I have learned that using personal pictures is much more powerful. And the reason is, when you have a selfie photo that you like, it creates a lot of brain cell stimulation. And I've got this selfie photo here of me coming out of the sea where I live here at Ventnor. And one of my big goals in recent years has been to get my health back. I was up over 100 kg. That's a lot heavier than I've ever been in my life. And now I'm back down to 85 kg at this time. And last year I got to 88. Now I'm down to 85. And so for me, these pictures, especially the selfie photo of me, is particularly meaningful. A selfie photo or a picture of your children or a place that you love or a piece of art that you love, that will trigger more brain cell stimulation and send a more powerful command to your subconscious than any drawing you can do. And so the teaching in Warrior Within is simple. Believe in yourself, follow your heart, make a stand for yourself on what you believe in. And through that, you find your flow, the best way for you to go. There's a warrior within each of us waiting to be set free. What kind of warrior might you be, and what kind of warrior do you need to be for the future? We are living in this rapidly changing world. The faster the world changes, the more opportunities it creates. But to see and seize those opportunities, we absolutely need to find our warrior within. The full Warrior Within program, 7 weeks, begins on the 31st of August. In the first week, initiation week, we start creating maps and we start to explore the deeper, more spiritual content of how you build belief in yourself. Over the 7 weeks, we're going to create goal maps, life maps, action maps, and self maps. All 4 mapping systems spread over the 7 weeks, gradually learning how to believe in yourself, follow your heart, use your physiology to create personal power so that you find your flow. It's also a great community to belong to. We have people here joining tonight that are in the community, and we have a closed Facebook group only for people in the community. Plus, we have a special area within Goal Mapping Online, a reserved area where we share deep insights. Like every week, you can choose a rune to give you some intuition. Plus, you can connect with a buddy for the week that helps you to be accountable, stick with your map, follow through with the exercises. We have challenges and breakout rooms and ways to help people find their path. 7 TPs run by the TP elders. These are the most experienced goal mapping coaches and trainers. Each week for the 7 weeks, we reshuffle everyone so that you mix with a different tribe each week, go into a different TP and access the deeper information. Here on the screen, you can see some of the past participants from Warrior Within. They come from all walks of life and from all countries, from corporate, from education, from alternative therapy, from network marketing, people that are testifying how they've overcome great challenges. Whether that's like Richard changing habit patterns around giving up the booze and becoming teetotal, or whether it's people facing fears to make their first presentation, coach their first clients, or whether it's people finding their confidence again to go back into their corporate life. The normal price on Warrior Within, £499 plus VAT. The early bird offer for tonight, £249 plus VAT, which equals €292. It is a full money back guarantee. If you're not completely happy through the program, you only need to say, and there'll be no questions asked, money back guarantee. We've never had anybody ask for their money back. We already have, let me check with Vicky, how many people booked at the moment? Around about 40 people, a little bit more than that, booked at the moment. And so great audience already. And many of the people that are booked are people that are returning from the last Warrior Within. And so if you'd like to join this Warrior Within, here is the link on the screen now. goalmapping.com/Warrior Within. Vicky's going to post it in the link. It's going to take you to the information page where you can read more about what we cover over the 7 weeks. And as part of Warrior Within, everybody receives a bonus of a 1-year gold membership to Goal Mapping Online. And so gold membership is normally £90 for the year, but we are giving that as part of the Warrior Within program. And at gold level, you have access to the Gold Lounge. Here it is on the screen. And in the Gold Lounge, we have 7 coaching rooms. And in these 7 coaching rooms, we have all of the recordings from previous masterclasses, plus success interviews, plus the monthly 3-hour workshop. So every month I'm running a golden opportunity workshop only for gold members. you will have a ticket to all the workshops for the next year, plus you will have access to all 7 of the coaching rooms and the recordings of the masterclass, the workshop, the success interviews over the last year. All available to you for this one special price, Warrior Within price of just $249 plus back, a full money back guarantee. Luciana, I can see you there in front of me on the screen. Lovely to see you tonight. And Luciana was on the program a little while ago. I don't know when the first time was you attended, maybe a year ago, Luciana. I think you've been twice now, and I know you've already booked for the coming program starting end of the month. Just take the screen share off for a second. I know I'm putting you on this spot because we haven't arranged this, but could you just say a few words about what Warrior Within did for you, Luciana? Unmute your mic.
Hi, Brian. Hello, everyone. Oh, I tell you what, this program is amazing. It did change my life totally. I was actually writing down as we were going along. And one of the things that I wrote down was when we are connected with the right community, things improve in our lives. And I wrote down, since I started with goal mapping and the first Warrior Within, and a major change that happened in my life, a breakdown and being homeless and all this, and then suddenly by being the Warrior Within, stick with it on a hard time, I managed to go through the breakup. I got my house sorted out as quick as I would imagine. It's only because all the teachings and everything that we have in here, Warrior Within, it makes such a difference in my life. It's unbelievable. I'm going to remain. I'm going to be in all the Warrior things, and I'm going to be all the goal mapping. And yeah, it's brilliant. I recommend to everyone. It's amazing. It's an amazing program. Definitely a life change, a great community, a lots of resources that we can use for the best personal development resources that I've encountered all my life. I wrote that down as well. The things that we get from this system is amazing. So yeah, that's all I can say. Amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Luciana. It's always lovely to see you. And I know you've become quite regular now with not just the Warrior Within program, you've also decided to become one of the goal mapping coaches. And lovely to see you here tonight supporting, and hope the information was good for you. And so if you're interested in doing the program, we could have more and more testimonials from different people telling you about it. I could speak for many hours, but it really is a life-changing program. Goal mapping, life mapping, action mapping, they are techniques. Warrior Within is those techniques plus all of the deepest content that I've learned over the years. And it's the content, the techniques, the deeper spiritual truths that have most helped me to change my beliefs and empower my beliefs and reduce down the negative beliefs, help me to change attitudes, help me to change behavior. It's those deeper truths along with the techniques, combination of a what, and then with the heart, why, but then with the techniques, how. And if we're going to make a change in ourselves and in our life, it's always that combination of what to, why to, how to. Sometimes we know what to do, but we don't have a good motivation. We don't have a why. Sometimes we know what to do and we have a good motivation, but we don't know how. We don't have a technique. It's when all three come together, what to, why to, how to, that we find our true power, our true self. Just 2 nights ago, I was presenting the same information for Anthony Robbins' top customers, the Platinum Partners. Anthony Robbins, one of the top life coaches in the world, and yet he pays me to present this information to his top customers. And we're making it available at a really low price because I feel it's my duty to do so. I feel it's my duty to share this information in the way that somebody shared it with me and helped me. I really hope that you would join the program. And I know that as some of you are coaches, and so I'm just going to put the screen share back on to say that if you are a goal mapping coach already and you haven't taken this program will help you learn how to coach the other systems, action mapping and also self-mapping, so that you have master mapping status. That's all included in the program. My big goal is to help 7 million people. So far, I'm at about 5 million people. I want lots of people teaching and sharing this system around the world in all the different languages, so we can help as many people as possible. People are teaching goal mapping, life mapping, action mapping in corporate, in public, in education, in network marketing, more than 1 million children. The coach program is just £1,495. There are lots of different bonuses included. So one of the bonuses included is 10 gold and 15 silver upgrade codes, so that you have codes that you can supply to your coaching clients if you want to make them feel special, or you can just coach them at the free level if you want to, but you can give them an upgrade code. The value would normally be £1,530. Also, the youth coach is included, normally nearly £360, plus life mapping is included at £600. Total value would normally be £3,986, but again, just £1,495. And if you have not already done the goal mapping coaching and you're interested, and you're signing up tonight, and then Warrior Within is included in that, and you will have that master mapping coach status included. If you wish to, you can even do it on payment plan. You can spread it over 3 months at £550 per month. And so if you'd like to do the Warrior Within program on its own, just £249, or if you're interested in becoming a certified coach with goal mapping and all of the benefits that that gives, and then tonight we're also going to include Warrior Within. Check in the chat. You're going to find the links there that Vicky has posted, and I'm just going to take a moment with the screen share off and see if anybody has any questions they would like to ask before we draw things to an end on this very hot summer's evening. Everyone good? Let me just finish with this point. Regardless of whether you join the program or not, the mapping systems work. It's why I've now been teaching them these last 27 years. It's why they've reached more than 5 million people around the world. It's why some of the top trainers like Anthony Robbins or Brendan Burchard invite me to be a guest speaker, and not just invite me for free. They pay me to go and teach these systems to their customers. The systems work, and you can go and work them for free. You know, if the money's a problem, just go and download the free templates and work the systems. They don't work just by knowing about them. I can make a free presentation every night for the rest of my life, and it will do no good unless people use the system. Working the system, creating your map, creates the brain cell connections that sends the command to your subconscious that moves you towards the goal, and through the law of attraction, the goal towards you. It doesn't work just by listening to me. So if you're challenged in any way by any of the things, go work the system. You can do it for free. But if you're prepared to make an investment in yourself, and we're not talking here a big investment, and it's a money-back guarantee, then book on the program. Book on the program. It's a fantastic community that will be there to support you. People like Luciana. And if you're a professional coach already or a mentor, there are so many tools and skills here that you can benefit from. I hope to see you on the program. It's been a pleasure to share the information with you. In a couple of weeks' time, we're going to run another session like this And then we're going to run it a little bit different in a couple of weeks' time, where we're going to have it interactive. I'm going to coach a volunteer to create their map. And if you want to join the program next week on relationships, which is on Tuesday, it'd be great to see you then. You can find details on the website. In the meantime, I'm going to wish you all lots of love and say goodbye for now. Have a great evening wherever you are, whatever time it is, wherever you're tuning in from. I wish you all the very best. Lots of love to you.